do science with 5th grade. I've done science with 4th grade too, but I do science with 5th grade right now. And I'm here to talk to you about the Science FSA, or FSSA, I have to say that slower. It is basically just like the Science FCAT has been in the past. Your children will have to answer questions, and we've been working with them on eliminating the answers that are absolutely not correct and choosing between the two that are. One thing that we do every single day is, oh, come on, 5th graders. What's one thing we do every single day in science?
Writer.
Call it out.
Plan experiments.
Every day we write in our journals, notes, that's right. Thank you, Mary. We write in our journals every single day. You're not going to see them coming home with you. They're not going to come home to you, parents, because they get lost, no offense. But they lose them on the bus, they lose them in exchanging backpacks, and so we have places in the room for them to leave those science journals until we have prepared, clear up until time to take the test. Then that weekend we'll let them come home with you, okay? Meanwhile, I have included in your packet several different areas on the internet that you could go to that your child could enjoy some science information that might help them to do better on their test. Does anyone have any questions about science? It has been important in our school for a long time, and it continues to be. So please make sure your students take it seriously. They get enough rest, they get a good meal that day, and they're prepared to go. Thank you.
No, there's only 5th grade science. And so 5th grade also has a practice FSA test in their packet for science. Some websites, I don't know if you'd be interested, but some websites to help prepare your students, again, is that FS assessments. That's where they have, even if you have kids in older grade levels, you can actually pull up FSA tests for them. Gotcha. Then there's also floridastudents.com. Is it .com, .org? .org, sorry, floridastudents.org, where you can actually specify a certain standard, a certain concept, and have them have content just for that. There's usually interactive tutorials, little games that focus on just that standard. That's floridastudents.org. Again, Prodigy and Reflex, great opportunities for fluency. There is still, right now for the rest of this week, Acceleration Lab, where your children have access to additional time on iReady to practice on those skills that they need. The teachers are going to start assigning particular lessons in iReady to kind of focus on those skills. There's also fluency games built into iReady. So we're preparing your students the best way we can. Just a little sidebar for FSA days. You know, everybody gets nervous. We want people to be prepared. We don't want them to freak out. But if you do notice that maybe you're looking a little green around the gills, you know, give them a chance. We also, when they come in, if we notice that, you know, they are having a little difficulty, we will pull them to kind of get them to relax. We don't want anybody to go into the test, let's just say, have a little breakdown and not do the best that they can. So we are looking out for their best interests. We want you to look out for their best interests. We want them to do the best they can. So if you work together with us, we're going to have awesome scores. I know, I believe in you guys. Okay? Any other last bit of questions? I see Mr. Finch coming up on my side here.
Haven't given the FSA or FCAT for 17 years. There's a couple of quick notes. The tests are designed for them to work for the 80 minutes. If you hear from the teacher on day one that your child finished in 20 minutes, that's a bad sign. It should take them pretty much the majority of the entire time. Unfortunately, we have students who finish in 20 to 30 minutes, put their heads down, and that's it. We can't do it. We can't talk to them. We can't say, open your book. We can make a general announcement at the break time. And the test is set up where they'll test for 40 minutes. There's a 2-minute break, stretch break, and then they test for 40 minutes. At that first break, we can say, boys and girls, take a stretch break. You need to make sure you check all your answers, keep working. but there's not a whole lot else we can say. We've had students fall asleep. We can't wake them up. It will take them the 80 minutes. Like it was stated earlier, the Florida Writes and Writing Assessment will be probably the first or second week in April. They'll have a little bit of a break. And then usually around the 1st of May will be the ELA for 4th and 5th grade, then the math for 4th and 5th grade, and then the science for 5th grade. So 5th grade students will probably have 6 days of testing in about a 2-week time frame. That's a lot of testing. If we could break it up into 2-week segments, trust me, Mr. Maid and I would, but we're bound by the state and what the district tells us when we can test. So it's mandatory that all our 4th and 5th graders get plenty of sleep and rest. On test days, we'll test them in the morning, or they do a little test in the afternoon, and we give them kind of much the afternoon off, because it's kind of intense. Students, your teachers are preparing you for everything you need to do. So relax, you're gonna do fine as long as you follow their instructions, and you'll do great. So the only word of advice they can give you is just listen to what the teachers tell you, do some practice at home. Like Ms. Crosby and Ms. Mertz said, multiplication facts, that will help them. Parents, you wanna know the one thing they can do for math? Multiplication facts. Multiplication facts. Science, there's a lot of science, Grade Science websites. Ms. Bailey will practice the students, and the ELA is just following the strategies, going back to the story, looking for the answers, and just staying focused. So that's about it. I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so if I drew a raffle ticket, so we're gonna get to the fun part. We have a gift card that the winner will receive. We'll send it to you in the mail, so make sure we get your information before you go, or you can pick it up in the front office. 9366896. 896. 9366896. Anybody? Got it? All right, awesome, congratulations. So Mr. Summer, if you'll make sure you get her information for us. And then if you'll do me a favor, please make sure you fill out the purple survey from our Title I specialist. She serves Brooksville and Eastside, so we apologize for the little typo at the top there. The surveys are used for a lot of the same things, but that will give us information that she will input into the computer. Only other thing that I'm going to leave you with is spiraled reviews. When we get back from spring break, all of our teachers, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade have created spiral review boot camps. So they will be putting all of your students through boot camps, and we'll be spiraling back to standards that have already been previously taught. That way, when they get, also by the time they get to FSA, they have reviewed some of those standards that were taught at the beginning of the year that they might have forgotten. Okay, and for you to know from the bottom of our heart as Eastside Elementary School, we believe in your students very much, and we know that they're going to do a fantastic job and that they're going to shine on that FSA, and we want you to boost them up just the same. Words of encouragement, words of affirmation, and let them know that they need to believe in themselves and have confidence that they've learned everything that they need to put their best foot forward. I appreciate you coming tonight. It means a lot to us. It's great turnout, and if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know.
There was one question about ESE or 504s. Whatever accommodation your child gets, whether it's small group, extended time, familiarity with the teacher, those accommodations will be provided on your FSA. So if your child gets extra time, that time will be added to the test, so that we'll have that extra time or encouragement, whatever their IEP says or 504 says, they get those accommodations.
So one more thing that Mr. Summer, our assessment coordinator, just reminded me of. If your student is in the middle of a session and gets sick or cannot complete that session and they have to leave school, they will not be allowed to finish the session, okay? So if they're not feeling well and we close the test book and we notate the time that they left, they go to the clinic, they get checked out by the clinic, they're feeling better, maybe it was just some nerves, they can pick back up where they left off, but they will, as long as they stay on campus, okay? But if they leave to go home, they cannot come back the next day and finish. We will have to turn in the test, whatever they were able to complete up until that point, okay? So we'll do the very best we can to try to keep your kiddos here. We know sometimes they're not feeling real well and they're getting nervous. If the clinic nurse feels that they really need to go home, we will call you. We're not going to forfeit their health over a test. It's not worth it. But we do need to make sure, too, that they know that they won't be able to make it up when they get back. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, one last thing, I promise. There's no option for digital students to do the FSA at home. If you are digital, you will have to come into the school. We'll let you know what those dates are as soon as we know, but you will have to come into the school to complete the FSA testing. All right? Any questions at all? Perfect, that's what I like to hear. I think we're ready to go.
That's right. Have a wonderful night. Thank